Ambiguous ASMR. Great. They left me behind to watch the new blood. Bet today's hunt was amazing as well. Oh, you're waking up. Good. I was getting bored. Do you remember anything from last night? No? Typical. You were found passed out in the middle of the woods. Typical. Yeah, this isn't the first time something like this has happened. This is going to be difficult to hear, so just take some deep breaths. You are one of us. A wolfkin. You might have heard us being called werewolves. No, I'm not kidding. I'm sorry. It's probably a lot to take in. When we found you, we had our suspicions. Not many people venture out into the woods on the night of a full moon, and then we saw the bite mark and we were certain. It looks a few days old. This was your first transformation, wasn't it? Then you were lucky. Well, normally your first transformation doesn't exactly go smoothly. You come out as this weird, half-human, half-wolf mess with no sense of self-control. It's where the stories of werewolves in human culture come from. The full moon acts as a catalyst. Something to do with that wolf part of you. It kickstarts a transformation you weren't expecting or prepared for, and the results are messy and painful. That's what causes you to go feral like that. Some lash out, and some are like you and just run. It's simple fight or flight. And you definitely picked the right option. Sometimes new bloods can go rabid in their first transformation, lashing out at whoever's around. It doesn't normally end well. Humans aren't very understanding. But I'd rather not stress you about what could have been. What's more important is that we found you, and you're okay. You'll never have to go through another transformation like that again. Well, not exactly a cure. More... Do you remember I said that werewolves are incomplete transformations? We can help you get a better control over your new abilities. But that will come later. We have a whole month between now and the next moon. It's more important that you focus on recovering and adjusting to your new situation before we start trying to teach you how to transform. Yes, I said we. There's a lot of us here. We've set up our own community here. We call it the Pack. We support each other. Make sure that everyone has a place to stay, where they can be safe. Some of the people here don't have homes they can go back to. They transformed publicly, meaning this is the only place they can be safe without being hunted down. Outside of this tent, there's a whole pack of people like you, ready and waiting to accept you into our community. Is your leg okay? When we found you, it was all scratched up. We had to get one of the passers to pick up supplies to clean the wound. What are passers? Passers are wolfkin who can freely come and go between our settlement and, human society. People who manage to transform and find their way here without being seen. They vary in how much time they want to spend here, Some feel more kinship with other wolfkin, and only venture into human cities to grab supplies like medication. Whereas, some have a normal life that they want to maintain, so only occasionally check in. They're honestly really important to keeping the pack running. Most of the wolfkin here are just random humans who got turned, so there's a lot of supplies we can't just make on our own. Having people who can access human medication for us is a lifeline. Like I said, it's how we were able to properly deal with your wound. Speaking of which, it doesn't smell infected, so I think you should be alright to walk on it. That's good. I'll be able to show you around. Come with me. Yeah, smell. Your senses are stronger as wolf. It can take some getting used to, but it helps out in the woods. See? Wolf ears. They help me hear better. Cute? No, they're not. Anyway, just follow me. Here we are. It's a little rudimentary, but it gets the job done. It's got a sort of rustic charm. Or at least that's what I heard the elders call it. Behind you is the medical hut. It's pretty self-explanatory, but that's where we nurse anyone who needs it. Injuries from hunting, sickness, or new arrivals such as yourself. We try to keep it as sanitary as possible. We aren't animals. We store any medication we can in there as well. Painkillers, bandages, that kind of thing. But anything that needs to be refrigerated needs to be kept and brought in by a passer. The people here may not be humans, but almost all of them used to be, so... Yes, almost all. Some of us were born this way. You know, two wolfkin loved each other very much, so... I hope I don't have to explain any further. Good. Yeah, us. I was never a human. I've always been like this. It's all I've ever known. I've learned enough about human culture from the others, but me? Nope. The pack is all I've ever known. I've ventured into human cities for a couple festivals, though. To see those sky fires. They were very pretty. Loud, but pretty. So many nice foods and smells and colours. It's a good memory. It's a good memory. Fireworks? I think I remember people calling them that. I'm not sure. It was a couple years ago. I'd like to go again, though. I've heard some rumors about some kind of event going on in the human city. Something about remembering November. Seems a little strange to me that someone could forget a whole month, though. Are humans really that forgetful? I mean, if someone asked me to go with them, I guess. I don't really feel comfortable going into human areas on my own. I get all confused and overwhelmed. Mood? What do you mean? If you say so. Anyway, we got sidetracked. Over there are the kitchens. Some of the passers were able to get together some cooking equipment we could use. Those metal dish things. And we were able to build some kind of stone oven. Or at least, I think they called it that. Before then, we had to heat up a stone to roast things on, so I far prefer the way things are now, even if I don't fully understand them. Over there we process prey. Yeah, prey. There's too many wolfkin here for our passers to be able to buy enough human food to feed everyone, so we have to gather our own. Some hunt for meat in the forest in wolf form, and some maintain the farms for fruit and vegetation. Passers brought in some seeds bought from some human market. Since then, we've been able to maintain a farm. Not everyone here eats meat, and no one in the pack goes hungry. Over there are the dens. We'll sleep together. It can get cold at night, and huddling together can be warm. Especially in wolf form. They already have your bedding set up. Like I said, we take in new bloods pretty frequently. Between you and me, there's been more recently. We don't know why. We keep ourselves to ourselves, so it couldn't be anyone here. But that bite on your leg must have come from some kind of wolfkin. No, we don't know about any other groups. Our communication with the outside world is limited. The world's pretty hostile to our kind. There's a reason why passers are so important. But it is strange. Wolfkin don't eat humans. There's no reason to. Well, you know, a lot of us used to be human in the first place. But even from a hunter's sense, the further up the food chain you go, the less energy you get from eating something. There's not much you would get from preying on a human that you wouldn't get more of from deer, and with much greater ease. It doesn't make any sense. Sorry, I shouldn't be worrying you on your first day. Come with me. I have one last thing to show you. This is our leader's place. This is where she gives her speeches and sleeps. She's very wise, but a little scary sometimes. She's one of the other natural-born wolfkins. I think right now she's out with the hunting party, but at some point she will want to meet you. She meets all the new pack members. But that ends our tour. It's not much, but it's home. Our home. Like I said, you're one of us now for the time being. You need to learn how to transform properly before you even think about going back into a human city. We can start tomorrow, but it can take a while. Even then, it's good to stay connected with other wolfkins. There are other creatures out there who've agreed not to touch humans, but wolfkin, we're fair game. So it's good to know people who have your back, you know? Yeah, you'll always have a family here. We may not be bound by blood, but the pack is forever. But enough mushy stuff. I smell food.